From the field to the studio to your eyes and ears, welcome back to the 816 hour Super Bowl edition Chiefs preview with the boys. Boys, how are we doing today?
Awesome. Chiefs play in the Super Bowl tomorrow. Couldn't be more nervous and happy at the same time. It's really a flurry of emotions, and I don't know what to do with it.
I feel the same way. Yeah, 24 hours away. It's starting to settle in. I'm getting a little nervous. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be a mess.
Yeah, it kind of hit me once NFL honors went up and Mahomes got second MVP, and then he wasn't there to accept his award, had to throw that little video up there. So kind of knowing that he's in Arizona getting ready for the Super Bowl. How do you guys feel knowing Mahomes could be the first quarterback since 1999 when Kurt Warner did it to win the Super Bowl and win MVP in the same season? How do you guys feel about this game just overall and then of that?
The curse. There's been a curse of the quarterback, whoever wins MVP that year hasn't won the Super Bowl since Kurt Warner did it. I think this is the year, because Kurt Warner was the one that announced Patrick Mahomes to win his MVP. Just happens to be the last quarterback to do it. So
what a pull.
Damn, I didn't realize that. That's a good one. Yeah, the MVP curse. It doesn't matter when you have Patrick Mahomes. But hey, if you can win MVP, imagine he gets Super Bowl MVP. That would be something. But just excited for the game as a whole. Just ready to see who steps up and makes those big plays in the big moments.
Going into that game, Chiefs are 1.5-point underdogs. Another kind of weird, not unfamiliar territory. The Chiefs being underdogs, but over-under is set at 51 points. Both teams 14-3 going into this game. They both have a Kelsey brother on the team. Cheapest ticket to go to the Super Bowl, as last time I checked, $2,795. Why aren't we going to the Super Bowl, boys? I'm just curious. Why isn't the NFL just got 816 hour? We need y'all to cover the Chiefs.
Did we miss a call? We must have missed a call.
I don't know.
I had my notifications turned off. That's my bad. That's my bad, guy. Sorry.
We're going to blame this one on Carter. Chalk it up as an L.
Got lost in the emails.
But you guys ready to just jump right into it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Say less. Going into it, Keeg, let's start with you. The biggest positive for the Chiefs going into this game for you?
Honestly, it's just having Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. This game is going to come down to those final minutes. And the Eagles, they look like on paper that they have the better roster, offense and defense. But when you come down and you have the best quarterback and arguably the best head coach in the game, I mean, that's honestly just the biggest positive for Kansas City tomorrow.
That's true. Carter, how about you? What do you think? Biggest positive for the Chiefs?
Biggest positive, I think we're getting most, if not all of our offensive weapons back this week. We lost them all. They were either injured last week or got injured in that game last week. And so it's good to see Patrick Mahomes coming in fully stocked up on his weapons. So I'm excited.
That's true for me. I was right there with Key. Andy Reid, I think that's the biggest positive. Going into his fourth Super Bowl coaching, absolutely crazy. The man's 27-4 coming off a bye. He's 27-4 coming off of a bye. So that in and of itself, it's huge. Andy reached 3-0, knock on wood, against the Philadelphia Eagles and his former team, Nick Sirianni, going into his first head coaching Super Bowl situation appearance. It's big. It's a big stage. All eyes on you. It's a lot of pressure. So I think having Andy Reid there and a guy that's been there is going to be big. But then to flip it, kind of, Carter, what's the biggest negative for the Chiefs going into this game?
I don't think I have one. Maybe it's their young secondary, but they've really stepped up and stepped into their own. So I'm not concerned about them at all. I don't think the Chiefs have a negative coming into this game, other than it's not an Arrowhead. That's the one negative.
I can't wait to see your guys' reaction with mine. But Keeg, what's your biggest negative?
Yeah, Carter kind of said it. Young secondary, but they proved themselves last week. But when you're facing A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, with that young secondary, but Snead is back. So they did with 3 rookies 2 weeks ago. So, but in those big moments, we'll have to see.
That's true. 100%. My biggest negative, it's actually Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And I know that sounds wild and you're like, oh, what the heck? But you got to take it with a grain of salt. You have to look at it hindsight. Patrick Mahomes 1-1 in the Super Bowl. He's completing 57% of his passes with a 2 touchdown to 4 interception ratio. I'm not saying I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he's not the greatest quarterback. I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. But if you have looked at his track record in the playoffs and compared to the Super Bowl, he struggles in the Super Bowl compared to any other situation he's put in. So for me, I think that's the biggest thing, seeing if Patrick Mahomes can kind of right these Super Bowl wrongs, but not worried. Let's go biggest positive for Philly going into this game. Whoever wants to take it.
Biggest positive for me for Philly is getting Jalen Hurts back fully healthy for this week. I know last week he still dealing with that arm issue. I think he'll be good. I think he's going to be hard to contain, but big positive for Philly.
100%.
My biggest positive is the Philly D-line, man. I mean, they had 70 sacks this year, 15 more than anybody else, which was the Chiefs. But just having Hassan Reddick, I mean, that man has been a game wrecker all year, 16 sacks in the regular season. He has 3.5 sacks in these playoffs. So just really, really worried about him coming off the edge.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The ability to get pressure, that Philadelphia defensive line, 78 sacks this season. They need 5 more to surpass the 84 Bears for the most in one single season. So curious if that'll happen. But man, they had 4 different players on that defensive line have 10 plus sacks. So that just tells you what it is right there.
That's insane.
If the Chiefs tackles don't come to play, it could be a very long game. We saw 2 seasons ago in that Bucs Super Bowl how pressure can disrupt a game. So Mahomes was running for his life, making Superman plays. So Philly's ability to get pressure with only rushing 4 is huge. But they obviously don't do everything great. So what's the biggest negative going into this game?
No, you go. I went first last time.
Fair enough. The biggest negative for Philly is just having to face Patrick Mahomes. I know Bryson said, obviously Patrick Mahomes, you see the stats in the Super Bowl, but just having to face Patrick Mahomes at this time of year, it's scary.
It's true.
I'm right there with Geek. This is really Philadelphia's first challenge game of the year. Would have been last week or 2 weeks ago against the 49ers, but their quarterback situation really took them out of that game. So I don't think Philly's played a tough team, a tough top-tier quarterback all year.
Yeah, my biggest thing is we really don't know if Philly's really tested. I heard on the radio this week, kind of comparing it to the TCU getting into the college football playoffs, the strength of schedule. You're always looking at that for college football. And if you equate that to the NFL, Philly just hasn't played anyone. And when they do, you see these top quarterbacks. Dak Prescott put 40 on them. Aaron Rodgers on a down season put up 33. Kyler Murray, who's been Kyler Murray this season, 17 points, and then Jared Goff put up 35. So Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback that Philly's going to see this year, has seen this year. And I just really don't know if the secondary is going to be able to stop him for sure. So I think that's huge. Moving off of that, dark horse for the Super Bowl MVP. Anyone? No one's really looking at that you guys think might be able to take home that MVP trophy?
I got one. Unless somebody wants us to go first, I got one.
Throw it out,
Carter.
I got one. I got 2 actually, but I'm not going to say one because I don't want to put it in the air and jinx it. But the one I'll say, Jerick McKinnon think huge part of that offense, especially late in the season, last weeks. He was the centerpiece in that entire Chiefs offense. So I think him having a quiet week last week, I think he's going to have a big week this week.
I love that.
Dark horse MVP, Frank Clark.
Ooh.
Man, shows up in the postseason. He has 3 or 4 and just has that game where he just, I mean, you kind of saw it versus Cincy, but if he just kind of changes that whole game, I could definitely see them give it to him.
100%. I mean, shoot, where to have it?
I mean, the man's what, 3rd all time in postseason sacks?
I was gonna say Frank Clark. He has 13. Oh, what
13. What is he, like 3 away from tying it, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure how far he is away from tying it, but 13.5 postseason sacks, 3rd all time, 2.5 postseason sacks. This postseason, he just comes through in those clutch situations, like you said. If you look in the past 2 Super Bowls that the Chiefs played, in that 49ers one, got the sack on 4th and 10 to kind of seal the game on defense, and then that Bucks game, it was early in the first quarter, but 3rd and 8, Frank Clark came through, got a sack, got the defense off the field, offense back on it. So definitely Frank Clark, for some reason, smells blood in the water come playoff time, and playoff Frank 100% could take that Super Bowl MVP. But the guy I had, Mizzou made Nick Bolton.
Ooh,
I think the guy could easily. I think he's going to finish with the most tackles on the team. Philly runs the ball a lot, so I think he's definitely going to pad the stat sheet in that aspect. But I mean, we've seen him he's gotten 2 interceptions this season, 3 maybe. So
2 or 3, yeah.
I was going to say, I remember 2 for sure, but I could definitely see him getting another pick, maybe taking 1 for 6. We saw him in that Denver game late last season, take that fumble recovery for 6. So maybe he has a defensive touchdown and with 15, 16 tackles, secures Super Bowl MVP.
The game is going to rest on Willie and Nick Bolton's shoulders, so they got to step up and definitely could. They have big games. Nick Bolton can definitely get some votes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That'd be dope.
That's true. Moving off of that, what do you guys think the biggest test for this young secondary is going into this game?
I mean, I got to say, locking down A.J. Brown, I think they did a great job 2 weeks ago with locking down 2 top-end receivers. I think it'll be, I don't want to say an easier, but it'll be a lighter workload covering just A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith, 1,000-yard season, but
this man just
he's no T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Golly. Carter, I feel like you're not. Devonta Smith is that guy. Dude's a dog. I hate to say it, but
would you say A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are better than T and Jamar Chase?
If you include the aspect of Jalen Hurts' rushing ability, I'd say yes. I'm gonna say, because then you have to look at it. You just look at the offense as a whole. But if you look at just a wide receiver core, I think you can make the argument for sure.
I think so.
Just say, because I feel like Devonta Smith, I mean, 1,100 receiving yards this season. A.J. Brown, he went for 1,500 yards, easily wide receiver 1. He finished 3rd in receiving yards behind only Jay Jettas and Tyreek. So both of them finished top 10. I mean, not to discredit Cincinnati, because obviously T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, both ballers. We've seen them destroy the Chiefs secondary multiple times. So nothing from that, but I think that's definitely a close call.
My biggest task for the Kansas City young secondary is keeping track of Devonta Smith. I mean, you got to worry about A.J. Brown. I assume they put Snead on A.J. Brown. They've been playing him versus the bigger kind of wide receivers, and McDuffie kind of follows that other guy. But, Spags does a lot of different things, so you never know. But just not forgetting about him. Like we were just talking about, I mean, the man had, 1,100 yards, you just said? Not even being the wide receiver 1, and and this team is like number 1 in rushing, and their quarterback is also mobile. So, I mean, just kind of crazy stats there, but just can't forget about him. Can't let him, go get 100, 130 And then he wins Super Bowl MVP, and he's the reason why, you couldn't get off the field.
I was going to say Jalen Hurts ran for 760 yards this season. So just keeping him honed in, not only as a passer, because, he has that hurt shoulder, still not 100% on that, but obviously getting closer and closer to that as the game's getting closer. But just honing him in as a rusher, because like you said, Keeg, that man could definitely just take this game over with his legs. We've seen Lamar Jackson do it against Kansas City. We saw Justin Fields do it this season. Just these fast running backs, the agile ability to beat you on the ground is huge. So I think the Chiefs being able to stop him, Willie Gay and the QB spy, the Chiefs ends, maybe Mike Dana gets out there, and some QB spies as well, quicker off the edge. I'd love to see that. But moving to the offensive side of the ball, do you guys have a pass catcher that steps up for this Chiefs wide receiver core? Like Carter mentioned earlier in the pod, a couple of the guys that got hurt last week, 2 weeks ago in that Cincy game, coming back, hopefully not throwing to Marcus Kemp and Blake Bell at the end of the game. Maybe we see Keegan Carter out there making some catches in the fourth quarter.
I'm here for it.
I'd love to see that. But anyone you guys got?
Kadarius Toney. Easily said. I mean, I'm gonna pick him every week. You give me a wide receiver that I'm excited about to watch. Kadarius Toney. I hope he's 100%. That's the biggest thing. But yeah, I think he steps up. I don't know. Andy said that thing that someone will step up. I just don't know. But Kadarius Toney's still my pick.
Yeah, I like that.
My guy, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, had a great game stepping up in that Bengals game. I think he builds off. I know we dogged on him at the end of the season, but he proved us wrong in that Bengals game. He stepped up. I think he's going to build off that and have another great game against Philly.
I like how we didn't talk about who we all three picked, but we all three picked different pass catchers. So look at the chemistry is just going crazy for the boys. I got Juju stepping up in this game. I think he finally has a bit of a breakout last week. Only one catch for 7 yards. He left with that injury. We haven't seen him get over 50 receiving yards since week 10 against the Houston Texans. We saw Juju earlier in the season going. I think he had a stretch where he hit 2 or 3 games in a row, over 100 receiving yards, 7-8 receptions a game. So I think he kind of gets back to that, maybe 80 yards. We saw him make the comments that he wants to resign in Kansas City this offseason. So he showed interest there, maybe kind of leaves a good impression on his last season or his kind of last game in Kansas City with hopefully a contract coming back to him this offseason. Do you guys hold any weight to that comment he made saying like, look where I'm at? Like, and they asked him about where if he's interested in resigning this offseason.
He wants to be here. And I don't think he played to the level that he wanted to play at in his prove it year, his 1 year prove it deal. So maybe he comes back on another 1 year prove it deal.
I think he'll come back.
So I won't be against it for sure. Great receiver.
Yeah.
Just curious. Quickly, injury report. Kansas City, no one to list on that injury report. Only one in Philadelphia. Britton Covey, he's questionable with a hamstring injury. Only question from that: who is more 100%? Jalen Hurts with his shoulder injury or Patrick Mahomes with his ankle injury? Who do you feel more confident in this game going forward?
Always going to be Patrick Mahomes. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Patrick Mahomes. I think even when his legs aren't healthy, he's proven that when his legs aren't healthy, his arm is healthy.
Yeah, I hate sounding biased, but yeah.
But Jalen Hurts, he went 12 for 23 last week, 190 yards.
Good point.
So I think his arm being hurt is going to take more away from him. More away from his game than Patrick Mahomes' ankle being hurt. So
that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're both getting right there to 100%. So I don't know. It's definitely a thing you'll have to watch all game because you saw it with Patrick versus Cincy. Sometimes he had to use that foot to make a throw, and then he was kind of limping a little bit. So, and then Hurts, like Carter said, I mean, he was 12 for 23. You saw him kind of miss a few throws. So definitely an interesting thing to watch.
100%. Moving to the over-unders, starting with Patrick Mahomes, 294 passing yards. Over or under?
Over.
Over.
Take the over as well. 2.5 total touchdowns, that's including rushing, receiving. Maybe we see a Philly special. Patrick Mahomes gritting in the end zone. Question mark.
Is that
Yeah,
2.5 for Patrick Mahomes or as a team?
Patrick Mahomes. When have we ever done a team?
I don't know.
What? Welcome.
I'll still go over. It didn't matter. I don't know why I asked that question. It was going to be over no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going over.
Moving to Isaiah Pacheco, 68.5 total yards, rushing and receiving, maybe passing. Who knows? Getting weird.
That's an interesting one. Clyde got activated, so
That is true.
but
that's true.
I'm still going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over.
Take the over. Love that. Taking the over as well. Moving to the best tight end in the game, TK Travis Kelce, 7.5 receptions. Does he hit 8?
Over.
Smashing it.
Love
Big
that.
time, big game. They're going to rely on their big playmaker.
It's huge. Big on third down. I'll take the over as well. Juju Smith-Schuster, 37.5 receiving yards. I felt like this was kind of low for a guy that kind of the wide receiver 2 or behind Kelce in this offense. But over under.
That's disrespectful. Over.
I think over as well.
Only 7 yards last week, so I respect the line,
True.
I'll take the over as well. All it takes is one catch.
Very true.
Harrison Butker, 1.5 field goals made.
No comment.
Does not include extra points, so that is just regular kicks.
I will not jinx this.
Why did you have to put the pressure on
why
me
would
now,
you
Bert?
why would you even say that? No, you just make the call, guy. Why'd you throw Golly.
Weak. Over. Harrison coming in clutch.
Smashing the over because we're never worried about Harrison and we're moving
He just sent us to the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Keeg. Put some respect on Seven's name. Moving to the Philadelphia side for Carter throws any more shade with it where it's not needed. Carter, you throw shade every pod and you decided the last one you throw it at Kansas City. Golly.
Well, it's not
This is the pod for Carter Pick Philly.
Jalen Hurts. We're going over under 297 total yards. Jalen's my guy. I haven't thrown it out there. This is the perfect Super Bowl for me with the situation. Jalen Hurts.
Very true. It's very true. You've been on the Jalen Hurts train.
Telling y'all.
I'm gonna go over.
He takes the under. Carter's taking the over.
I'll take the over.
I'm taking the over as well. Miles Sanders, 60.5 rushing yards.
Under.
I'll go over on that one.
I'm taking the under. I think the Chiefs' run defense kind of hones in, locks down. And then the last one I got, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, the combo, 136.5 receiving yards between the two.
Over.
Yeah, I have to say over.
I'm going to take the over as well. Off of that, anyone got a matchup to look out for? Bold take? Think of that.
Matchup to look out for. I think if the Chiefs can just find a way to run the ball well through Isaiah Pacheco and make this Isaiah Pacheco I feel like, you've seen him, have those games, but just him unleashed. And obviously it's a Super Bowl, so you want to depend on Patty. But like Bryson said, Patty, is kind of struggles in the Super Bowl a little bit. So take that pressure off him. you give Pacheco 15 carries and the man runs for 130, let's say, and they find a way to just run the ball in this defense. I mean, that could totally change the game. But sticking to that topic, this game is going to be won and lost in the trenches. I mean, you got the Philly D-line who's stacked versus the Kansas City offensive line who we've seen. Orlando and Andrew Wiley lead the NFL in pressures, but Orlando has been playing great, and that's one of the reasons that they're in the Super Bowl. And then the other side, you got Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Karlaftis, and all those guys versus the Philly O-line who's stacked. I mean, that's my biggest worry is the pressure versus Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. I'm curious. Seeing Chris Jones versus Jason Kelce is going to be one of my biggest matchups that I'm going to be watching on the field because two of the best in the game just going at it. I cannot wait to see that.
That one will be so fun to watch because I feel like when we're on defense, I just watch the D-line. I don't know why. That's just what I do. Or maybe that's what everyone does. But Chris Jones versus Kelce, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
My matchup to look out for is going to be our safeties, not just our free safeties, but Justin Reed, Juan Thornhill. I think they're going to be big in that game of helping out deep.
Whoa! You didn't just mention safeties, did not mention Brian Cook's name.
I'm sorry.
He had the pass deflection that led to the late interception in the Cincy game.
That's true.
Some respect on his name.
I think there'll be a really cool rotation going on between those three. Bullets, like all three get a pick this game.
Yeah, I was seeing. Oh wow! Wait, time out.
Yeah, he said all three.
I jumped to a bull take. All three get a pick.
I love it.
All three.
I was going to say, I expect to see more Brian Cook on the field with Jalen Hurts' rushing ability, kind of keeping the quicker options on the field. But my biggest matchup to look out for is going to be Patrick Mahomes versus the Philly defense. We talked about it. The Philly pass rush is absolutely insane. But like Carter said all year, don't blitz this man.
You can't blitz him.
You can't blitz the guy. Patrick Mahomes throwing on the run in this postseason alone. He's 8 of 9 passing with an 89 completion percentage and 2 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. You just can't pressure the guy.
He's best on the run. He's best in the pocket. And it's hard to stop a guy that's best at both. So
it's going to be big. But Keeg, did you have any bold takes? I mean, any bolder than Carter had?
I don't know, man.
Last game of the year, go big or go home.
That is very true. I can list off some bold takes. I was kind of, I just couldn't write down one because I had so many that you could just go crazy and just, but also I don't want to jinx it, but, let's have some fun. I think as much as I want to say Kelce went Super Bowl MVP, give me Isaiah Pacheco. Woo! I think they feed him. I think he has 115, 130 rushing yards. I know that's a lot versus Philly defense. I think he just maybe like total yards. I think they just put the game on his shoulders late or just the whole game, and he just comes through, and this is the moment you'll see, and you're like, oh, that's our franchise running back. So give me him for Super Bowl MVP. I think Trent McDuffie will have his best game as an NFL pro. I think he'll get that first career interception. I think he'll have multiple pass deflections in big moments. I think he'll also be up there. I think he'll play so well that he'll get MVP votes. Maybe not like a whole bunch, but like 1 or 2. And they're like, oh, Trent McDuffie just, played one hell of a game.
Balled out. 100%. Personally, bold takes I got. Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going for over 330 passing yards, 3 total touchdowns. I think the Chiefs defense, I think they forced 2 turnovers. The Eagles, they've been fortunate all season. They really haven't turned the ball over a lot, but I think Steve Spagnuolo, I think he gets it done. I think the Chiefs defense, they get home a couple times, pressure on Jalen Hurts, make him throw the ball up. And then hopefully, like Carter threw out there, a couple safeties are on the back half ready to catch 3 interceptions. to kind of piggyback on Keegan's, I thought I was getting wild. I think Isaiah Pacheco, I think he finishes with more rushing yards than Damian Williams did in Super Bowl 54. That was 104 rushing yards as he ran to immortality, as Mitch Holtis would say, as goosebumps run through all of my body.
Yes.
I think Travis Kelce's the brother that hoists that Super Bowl trophy. And I'm going to go with red Gatorade. It's going to be dumped on Andy Reid after the Chiefs get the dub. But after that,
red would be perfect because it's the Chiefs. That'd be cool. But
with the red
I'm going
jerseys
blue.
or you're going blue. I mean, with the white jerseys, I apologize, but blue.
That is true, but still, I'm gonna go blue. Weird one. I don't know if there's been blue lately, but it seems like a different one.
I'll go orange.
Say it was orange for the San Francisco game. So,
yeah, I was gonna say orange is. I feel like you usually see orange.
That's a good pick. That's a good pull. I like that a lot. Before we get to final score, what jerseys we rocking tomorrow? Give me something. Anything.
Mahomes, always in the playoffs.
No,
Yeah.
saved him for the big games this year. Wore last week. Battlebird again this week. The red 1-5 is coming back out.
Wow. Is this the first time in 816 hour history will all three be rocking the same jersey?
Have to. Are you rocking white or red? What do you have?
I got the white 1-5.
Well, I got red.
See, I had to make
white is clean. White is clean. I told you I almost bought a Super Bowl jersey, but I'm gonna wait to see if we win and then I'll buy one. Because then if we lose and I buy one, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to look at this thing.
Yeah. See, I had to make sure I matched the team, so I had to rock the white. Got to.
Yeah.
You can wear the helmet.
I want a white jersey.
Hey,
you got to wear the helmet the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
It's good luck.
Yes. Get him out there on the field. Get him out
Hey,
there.
He's
boys.
ready. Look at that.
Get him
Look
out
at that.
there.
we ready. We really ready.
Put him in that safety rotation.
yeah.
I'll
Is
finish
he gonna
the
be able
pod
to
like
hear?
this.
Let's go.
We got final scores. Final score takes.
I got Chiefs 28-23.
I love that.
Give me Chiefs 33-30.
Ooh. Say, Keeg, me and you are always real close with our scores, so I feel like this is the first time we're kind of not, but kind of. I got the Chiefs winning a close one, 37-31, but Carter, this one's for you. I think we finally see the Patrick Mahomes behind the back pass for a touchdown. I think we see it. I think we're pulling it out, boys.
I'm here
They
for
did say they're not ruling it out for the
bag of
playoffs.
tricks. It's open.
Dump it out, Andy. Dump it out. Leave it all on the field.
I'm saying, hey, I think he'll get crazy. I was going through parlays and looking, and it was just like non-QB pass touchdown. I was like, Andy Reid.
Uh-oh.
Andy Reid, man, he gets kind of weird. Patrick Mahomes receiving touchdown. I could see it. I could see it.
I told Carter yesterday, imagine Andy Reid runs the Philly special against the Eagles.
I don't know how they would react.
I'm just saying.
Like, they're running our play against us? I feel like they'd be shocked.
to win the game. I need it.
Ooh.
But it's it's going to be like in Andy's way, so it's going to be something crazy.
Do
But
we
they
see
could
the
run
circle in the huddle again?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, imagine. But they can that Mahomes behind the back, they're gonna do something where he's gonna like run to his right, and then they're gonna have Sky Moore or someone sitting in the back of the end zone. He's just gonna launch it behind his back, and we're just gonna all sit there speechless.
Jaws on the floor. It's like,
I mean, I'll start crying.
boy.
I swear.
Does anyone got anything else?
Let's win a Super Bowl.
Hey, that's big.
Let's get this ring.
Carter?
No, hit us up. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere, every social media. We got it. We're there. Leave a follow, a comment, a like, whatever. Let us know what you guys want to see on there. For the podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, wherever it is, we got it. Follow us there. Listen to all our stuff. Rate us 5 stars. Leave comments. Let us know what you guys want to hear. But hit us up. the 816 Hour is on Teespring.
Yes.
Awesome merch on there. But boys, Bryson's wearing some.
The
Awesome.
merch,
Awesome.
got the merch,
Love
yes.
it. Boys, we out.
Hey, real quick before we jump out of here, I just want to throw out there again. I know we continue to say it, but Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again, boys. This could be the last Super Bowl we ever watch the Chiefs play. So if you're a Chiefs fan, if you're a fan of the football, just appreciate this. Like live in this moment, appreciate it. Boys, I hope you guys enjoy this football game. We've been covering the Chiefs all season, so I mean, it just feels like a little extra, So, just excited for that. Want to throw that out there, but boys,
Feels like a national holiday.
hey, is everyone off Monday? Did everyone take Monday off? Hopefully, Victory Monday.
Might have to.
I'm gonna say, feeling a little sick, but we out.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.